Welcome to the Calexico City Council Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency Calexico Finance Planning Commission regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, April the 15th. It's 2026. Meeting is called to order at 6:46 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon.
Present.
Councilmember Marquez.
Present.
Councilmember Tailinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance, please all stand up.
Ready? Begin.
Please remain standing for our invocation given by Pastor Nieto. Is it Nieto?
No nieto.
No, Nieto. Pastor Nieto.
Thank you, Mayor Legaspi, council members. Let's pray. God in heaven, we just thank you for this day, Lord, and we just thank you for the city, the great city of Calexico, as we celebrate 118 years tonight, Lord, and just lift up the city council, Lord, and that you would just guide them in the decisions that they make, Lord, how it affects every citizen here, Lord, and we just ask for your wisdom, Lord, as they do make these decisions, Lord, and that it would just be for the betterment of the city, Lord. And we ask that you would just give them courage, Lord, and just to have integrity. And we just pray, Lord, that their commitment, Lord, is one of fairness, justice, that they would just want to further the betterment of our city, Lord. And we just thank you, Lord, just for the police department, for the fire department, for all that they do, how they serve our community, Lord. And we just ask that you just put your hand upon them and keep them safe as they go about doing their business. And for all the city workers that keep our city moving, Lord, we just ask that you just be upon them also, Lord. And we just thank you for tonight and for all the citizens that are here, Lord. And we just ask this in Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Moving on to the closed session announcement. City Attorney, any
Nothing to
announcements?
report.
Nothing to report, okay. Moving on to the approval agenda, do I have a call for motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mayor, I do have a report on item number 10, the sisterhood reaffirmation with Mexicali. So there's some additional steps that Mexicali needs to take before this item can be addressed. So I'm asking that this item be removed from the agenda at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're calling for the motion, and also it's going to be the removal of item number 10. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion was called by Mayor Pro Tem Calderon, second by Council Member Adriana Marquez. Moving on to presentations. Oh, we did do roll call, right? No? Okay. Roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon.
Present.
Councilmember Marquez.
Present.
Councilmember Tailinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to presentations, proclamation, which is honoring the Calexico's 118th anniversary. Whereas Calexico began as a tent city of Imperial Land Company founded in 1899, and the Imperial Land Company converted desert land into a fertile setting for year-round agriculture. And
Whereas Calexico was incorporated on April 16, 1908, and this year observes is the 118th anniversary. And whereas the name of the city of Calexico is a patrimoine of California and Mexico. And
Whereas in 1907, Imperial County split from San Diego County, becoming California's 58th county. And on April 16, 1908, Calexico became the third city in Imperial County. Whereas Calexico's population has grown over the years, starting at 797 in in 1910, rising to 6,223 by 1920, and reaching 38,633 in 2020, and is now the second largest city in Imperial County.
Whereas the history of Calexico's endurance gives powerful testimony about the resiliency of its residents and their capabilities and desire to prosper. And whereas Calexico continues to address environmental, social, and economic regional concerns to ensure an improved quality of life and economic growth through the vital contributions of its residents. And
now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico does already proclaim April 16, 2026, the 118th anniversary of the City of Calexico, and henceforth the month of April will be recognized and celebrated by all with pride and optimism. In witnesses whereof I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the 15th day of April 2026. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and move on to the rotunda. Do I have a motion to pause our meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. Its motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Blanchard Calderon and second by Councilmember Adriana Marquez. Roll call, please.
Diana.
Diana Norcumbo, I'm sorry. Diana Norcumbo, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So let's all meet at the rotunda and have cake and enjoy. I'd like to make the motion to resume our meeting. It's 7:35 PM. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Second?
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to the proclamation of National Library Week. Is there something?
Not, you can read it. This should go first and then I'll
Okay,
go
oh,
second.
yeah, those-
It's right here. Here. No? Here, read this then.
Okay. All right. National Library Week. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering space where individuals of all ages can find joy through exploration and discovery. Whereas libraries serve as a vibrant community hub, connecting people with the knowledge and technology and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and cultural enrichment.
Whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas library partners with schools, businesses, and organizations to maximize resources, increasing efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community.
Whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. Whereas libraries nurture young minds through story time, STEAM programs, literacy innovations, fostering curiosity and the love of learning that lasts a lifetime.
Whereas libraries protect the right to read, think, and explore without censorship, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. Whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all.
Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Find Your Joy. Now therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico does hereby proclaim April 19th through the 25th, 2026 as National Library Week. During this week, we encourage all residents to visit our local library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library helps our community find joy. In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature, an official seal of the City of Calexico on this 15th day of April, 2026. Come on up, Lisette. Thank you. Mrs. Legaspi, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you for the proclamation, and just invite the whole community to come and visit the library, especially next week, which is National Library Week. We have a week packed with activities for people of all ages, so I encourage you to join us. Thank you.
Okay, going on to our next presentation, it is Dispatch Appreciation Week. National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Whereas the City of Calexico proudly recognizes the dedicated public safety telecommunicators who serve our community with professionalism, compassion, and unwavering commitment, and
Whereas public safety telecommunicators are often the first point of contact in times of fear, crisis, and uncertainty, answering the calls for help with calmness, skills, and reassurance, and
Whereas highly trained professionals provide a critical link between the public and emergency responders by providing emergency and non-emergency calls, obtaining essential information, dispatching police, fire and emergency medical response personnel, and maintaining communications during incidents that may be stressful, complex, and life-threatening. Whereas the work of public safety telecommunicators is vital to the safety of the citizens of Calexico and the officers, firefighters, and emergency personnel who depend on accurate and timely information to respond effectively. And
whereas the public may not always see the work performed behind the scenes, but each day and night these professionals demonstrate extraordinary patience, sound judgment, and dedication in service to others. And whereas National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week provides an important opportunity for the City of Calexico to recognize and thank these men and women for their invaluable service and for the essential role they play in protecting life, preserving property, and supporting public safety operations throughout our community.
Now therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico does hereby proclaim this week of April 13th through April 19th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week in the City of Calexico, and do commend all public safety telecommunicators for their outstanding service, professionalism, and steadfast dedication to the residents of this community. In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the 15th day of April, 2026. Thank you, dispatcher. Do we have Veronica? She's coming up.
We do. We have our dispatch supervisor here present, Ms. Veronica Valenzuela.
Can you move a little bit this way? You get it puro center. There you go.
One, two, three. Thank you.
Oh, just thank you for the proclamation, and this is for all of my wonderful team members, or I call family, my dispatch family and my police department. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a presentation that's going to be set on the Police Advisory Traffic Code Enforcement, Commissioner Rangel, regarding traffic control devices around our schools.
Okay, good evening, council members, mayor and council members. I want to start this presentation by kind of talking about, so that I don't lose track of anyone, why this came about. If you go to the Calexico Unified School District, there are lots of parent groups. There were issues that parents were raising regarding traffic congestion, not being able to access certain school sites, and basically the communication from both the city and the school district. The school district is our biggest place here in the valley, other than law enforcement or border patrol. So that's kind of where this started from. Also blocking certain streets that parents were unaware of. So I started looking into it. I brought this to the commission, and it's been a collaborative effort. All the commissioners have been very helpful, giving me their feedback, recommending that I speak to the superintendent. So I just want to keep that in mind. And also, the goal of this is to create uniformity amongst our streets, making sure that it's clear of debris, If you go on to our our chairman, Mr. Gonzalez's Facebook, you can see that these devices cause debris on the roadways. So the ultimate goal is that we clear the roadways, don't make any confusion, and also that, that our departments are compensated, that we are doing recovery costs when we're extending our workers out to these particular sites. So okay. I know how to do this. So at the recommendation of some of my peers, they suggested that I show you visuals. So if you look here, you can see these are, it says TTCP, which stands for temporary control, it's supposed to be temporary control device. It's not supposed to be a P. But these are different sites throughout Calexico, different school sites. You're going to see that they're in the middle of the roadway. Some are tipped over. And I'm going to direct you to some of the municipal codes and the California vehicle codes that you can read on the bottom right there, and we'll get into that a little bit later. How am I supposed to do this? Oh, okay, all right. So these are all different sites. You can see Willie Moreno right there. You can see Mains Elementary. You can see the high school again. You can see Blanche Charles and many of these. Now, if you look at number 17, you're going to see obviously they're using heavy equipment. Those cones are okay to have them there because it's necessary at that moment. So all of these are showing that they are in violation of the Calexico Municipal Code and the California Vehicle Code. Now, you're probably asking, how do I know that? Well, here are some more examples of debris. Late at night, Rockwood, those should not be out there. 98 and Rivera being on the roadway. These are just all examples of violations. Why is it a violation? Well, if you remember me being here a few weeks, the last time, I said that I submitted a public request from the Calexico Police Department, the Planning Department, and Public Works, requesting if any of these were authorized, if anybody had any documentation showing that these were authorized. Because according to your municipal code, which I believe is on the next slide, no, it's not. That is supposed to be a video. Unfortunately, it's not working because of technical difficulties, but you'll, in this video, it's Dual and Belcher, which is completely blocked off. It's from Belcher, you're unable to make a right, and from Dual, you're unable to go onto Belcher. So that is an access point. It's right there, but you can't see the car doing the turn and the kids crossing, but that's basically essentially what you'll see there. So basically, like I said, these are violations according to our municipal code. I went to the superintendent, spoke to him directly, and they were unaware that there were even municipal codes regarding this because nobody had ever approached them. How long these municipal codes have been in the city, I'm not sure. But there's definitely California vehicle codes regarding who can put these temporary control devices on the roadways. Now, it needs to be the chief of police or a designee, which would most likely be his traffic controllers, his police officers, and so forth. Public Works, if they're doing something on the roadway. And usually, when you're doing any kind of construction, you have to get an encroachment permit, which would also, in other cities like San Diego, they make sure that you define how you're going to put these cones out there. Like I said, the superintendent was unaware that this was even a violation. Nobody had mentioned it to him before. Nobody had brought up this concern. And it's most likely because, as one of my other commissioners said, here in Calexico, we're very used to, well, it's past practice. So we don't really question anything, and we don't look into it until it becomes an issue. Why is this an issue? Because the city is liable. These are temporary control devices that, as drivers, we're assuming are approved. And if something were to happen, I can tell you that the school district, in nice terms, basically said that it's on the roadway, so it would basically fall on the city if anything were to happen. So that's why this is important to bring to your guys' attention. Currently, right now, these are unapproved. We're not getting any sort of cost recovery. Part of the PRA that I sent in was to ask if there were any fees that the department had on record. Unfortunately, only planning was able to give me a fee, which is in item 12 that you guys have. It's kind of what they sent me, but without all of the new modifications that they're suggesting. So that's very similar to what I got. So this is why it's important to, and this is a lot, I'm not going to go through every one of these, but this is basically your municipal code. And it's basically saying that these are basically a public nuisance if they are not there. Why is this an issue? If somebody were to just block down your street, if it was just a regular person, I'm pretty sure they'd call the police department and somebody would be cited for closing off their street. We have to keep our schools accountable, both private and public, that if they're going to be making these modifications, that we are letting the public know that they're making these modifications, that they are being approved, to make sure that we're taking into account ADA, we're taking into account if it's able to be done. Okay, so like I said, why is this an issue? Technically right now, there is no enforcement. Well, if they were to go, that would be enforcement, but there's clearly no penalties. So basically we would just go and say, take them off. And to their credit, when I talk to them, they are starting to remove some of these temporary control devices where they're saying that they don't need them. But we also want to be transparent with the school district, and we want to create a path to, if they want these on their roadways to protect the students, then we need to create some sort of application where we have it documented, and so that we kind of take care of ourselves as a city and a department and so forth. So right now, we currently don't have anything in place. It's just basically a slap on the wrist. You shouldn't be doing it. There's no penalties that we can really, well, at least nothing was provided to me through the PRA where there is anything that is in the books to cite them or to give any sort of a penalty. So next, also cost recovery. I understand that our police department is stretched thin. I understand that they don't want to have to go worrying about these particular things, but they are an issue. If you run over it, or if you, I mean, naturally you're going to think these temporary control devices are the way that you're supposed to be driving on the roadways. We have a lot of young kids in high school who are learning to drive, and this can be confusion for them as well. So what we're asking here from the commission is basically to give direction. And these are some examples. You're going to see there's no numbers there because there's no fees that we currently have, and we haven't gotten the approval. I haven't been able to show my commission what they sent me because we haven't met since then. But this is just an example that we have some sort of a warning, that we have some sort of violations in place with penalties, because ultimately these devices could cause an accident. They could. If you go to our commissioner's Facebook, you'll see that he got down, he took off one of these devices from the roadway because somebody was going to run over it. This is also an example of your traffic control device municipal code right here. You're going to see who has the authority. We're supposed to obey anything that's on the roadway. So right now we're just naturally assuming that these have been approved to be on the roadway. And you're going to see that there's nothing in this ordinance right here with temporary control devices that talk specifically about schools. And you're not going to see it through the other schools, the other cities also. I've looked into other cities. They're a little bit more transparent when it comes to their fees, but we don't have anything on file. I think we could definitely lead here by making sure that we have a proper application in place in order to get these approved. And it would also create other sources. We're going to come up to graduation season. We're going to be asking for traffic control to be there. We're going to be asking for all these things from all these different school sites. And so this would help us to keep accountability. I'm going to direct you to the California Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. So I don't want to just come to you guys with a problem. There's actually, California is very good at having solutions. So, and there are many different solutions that we can do. Something more permanent that could be done are these flashing beacons that the school district has said they are willing to work with the city in collaboration. There are grants out there, but it can't just be led by them. It has to also be led by the city. So that's something that could be done. They have a specific section, Part 7, traffic control for school areas, that can also be looked at when we're looking at approving or getting more information out there. And so I want to mention this because I just went to El Centro, and if you look at Calexico, it's kind of dirty the way we do it with all these traffic control devices. They're all over the place. If you see some of them, they look like they've been through it, like they've been burnt or something. I don't know what's going on with some of them. They look like they belong in Whoville. But if you go to El Centro, you'll see that they have these beacons here. It looks a lot nicer. It looks cleaner. It reduces, probably, in my assumption, all the cross people that we would need there, and it makes it safer. Currently, right now, it's not very safe. And did I turn it off? Yes. So while we're waiting for that, I just want to make sure that basically right now what's happening in general is we're impeding on the public's right-of-way. We don't have authorization. Let me go back. Okay, yeah. We don't currently, according to the departments that I reached out to, we don't have authorization to have those on the roadway. The school district doesn't have authorization to have it on the roadway. So in essence, we're asking that the city council directs staff to come up with an ordinance. I have something drafted, but I'm obviously not the professional in that area, that would include temporary control devices in school zones, so that we have something a little bit more concrete and adjusted. And I want to be very clear right now, these are violations. There's just no penalties, according to my research, for these violations. So, does anybody have any questions?
Okay. Ms. Rangel, first of all, I want to commend your commission because this is the whole purpose of a commission, to go out there and be our eyes and ears and to look at the issues that affect our citizens, and you're looking for also ways to protect our city, as is in this case. You guys are very active. Your commission is very active. You're involved with the National Night Out. You're doing community cleanups. That is part of another commission, but you guys are taking the lead. And now you're looking at this, which is it is a very important problem to point out, because that intersection that you mentioned, it's in front of Crummett Park, right? Where they block off. Okay, so I have seen on many occasions how vehicles come in to drop off students and they do an illegal U-turn, but it's not big enough, it's not wide enough, so they end up reversing where children are crossing and then going back. So I think it could be an accident waiting to happen, and the fact that they are just closing the streets is a concern because they're not taking into consideration these type of actions that they're going to take anyway, and then obviously the impact to the people that live there. I'm sure that the school district is doing it obviously to protect the students, but it's also not facilitating traffic and could cause other issues. So I want to thank you for doing this study, for doing this presentation. So please let the commission know that they're doing an outstanding job. And then what I would recommend is that since you guys brought up the problem and you have some solutions, get with the city clerk, put it on the agenda so that it's no longer on a presentation, but it's on discussion action, so that we can, take an action and move forward with or not with whatever recommendations you guys are doing. So thank you for that.
And just to your point right there, there is another part to this, but like I said, since it hasn't been approved through the commission, that's why it's not fully on here, but thank you for those recommendations and any other recommendations that anybody might have. Really quick before I go, Commissioner, would you like to say something on the topic? No. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rangel. Okay, moving on to announcements. Do we have any announcements from our council members? No. Okay. The only announcement I have is that this Saturday from 10 to 12 at where the Águilas play, they have the binational baseball game going on. It's the finals this coming Saturday from 10 to 12 where the Águilas play in Mexicali. Hope y'all can make it. Moving on to public comments and public appearance. City Attorney.
Thank you. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The City Clerk will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and the place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. Group commentators may be requested to limit their group comments to 15 minutes. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to that item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. The Mayor and City Council reserve the right to adjust this time limit based on the number of speakers who wish to address the city and the Mayor.
The non-agenda items will be limited to a maximum of 30 minutes. If additional time is required for public comments, they will be heard towards at the end of the meeting, after discussion of potential action items. Right now, it is 8:03 p.m. Public comments will be paused at 8:30 p.m. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. Juan Moran.
Buenas noches, Mayor, council members, staff, and members of the public. I'm Juan Moran from Vega Street, Calexico. Tonight, as we celebrate our 118th anniversary, I want to begin a short educational series about something that shapes every decision this city makes: the legal structure under which Calexico operates. Most residents understandably focus on visible issues: streets, parks, public safety, economic development. But very few people ever get the opportunity to learn how our city is organized under California law. Over the next several meetings, I'd like to use my 3 minutes to help build a shared understanding of that structure, because it affects our ability to plan, to adapt, and to pursue a long-term vision. Calexico is what's known as a general law city. That means our powers, our procedures, and even the way the city council is organized are not determined locally. They are defined by the California Government Code. In practical terms, we follow a statewide format, the same format used by hundreds of cities, regardless of their size, history, or unique challenges like we have here in Calexico. It is a uniform model designed for consistency. And there are benefits to this. General law cities operate within a clear, predictable framework. The rules are already in the books, and they are the same rules used across the state. This can make certain procedures straightforward and familiar. It also means the state provides a stable structure for how councils function, how mayors are selected, and how certain administrative decisions must be made. But there are also limitations. Because general law cities must follow state-mandated procedures, they have very little flexibility to tailor their governance to local needs. If a community wants to adjust how its mayor is chosen, how long terms last, how procurement works, or how long-term planning is structured, a general law framework does not provide many tools. It is stable, but it is not adaptable. And I want to be clear, tonight is not about making any recommendation. It is about laying the foundation for a broader conversation. I strongly believe residents deserve the opportunity to understand the full range of options available to us, including models that allow for more local control, more continuity, and more long-term vision. And so I'll close with this thought. Every community reaches moments where it must pause and ask whether the tools it has are enough for the future it wants. Change begins with awareness, with the willingness to imagine something better. Think about what it would mean for Calexico to take a more active role in shaping its own governance. Let us begin this conversation with open minds and a shared sense of possibility. Imagine a Calexico where residents elect mayors to guide the future of their city with intention, clarity, and long-term vision. Thank you and happy anniversary.
Jose Carrillo.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Carrillo. I live 125 Commandant Court. I'm president for Calexico Really. I'm here. I just want to thanks to everybody. We had this binational tournament first year. We had it here, and we had a very good time. We had a good turnout. Between Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we had about 500 people in there. Our Calexico team made it to the championship, so we're going to be playing, and I invite everybody to the Águilas this Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. There'll be a championship game between Calexico and Mexicali. Also, I want to present a plaque to the Public Works because they really did a good, hard-working job. I know that they're short in staff, but with the staff they got, they did a very good job, especially the lightnings. We didn't have no lights. They all work right now. The benches, they replaced everything. They did a good, hard-working job, and I want to present this plaque to Mr. Villegas.
Mr. Villegas, can you come down here so we can take a picture with him? Photo. What about with the council? I don't know, the mayor's the boss. Yeah. Here? Up there. There? Up there? The boss is the mayor. The mayor's the boss. Wait, le puse foto. Video. One moment.
Any other public comments?
Luis Pacheco.
Good afternoon, City Council. Just some updates. Luis Pacheco, IID Director, Division 4, 117 9th Street, Calexico. On March 27th, we had our two-on-two meeting held with the city leadership. We're having another meeting this Friday, Mr. Calderon, 10 o'clock. On March 18th, the city received 2 grants for their libraries. We had a $15,000 grant for HVAC projects and one for $29,478. And this is from our public benefits program. And we'll be installing 5 air conditioners in both our libraries. We are ordering irrigation gates to assist with the retention basins, Mr. Villegas, and we're ordering 5 gates for you. Okay? Great. On April 2nd, on Holy Thursday, we had a blackout on my side of town. Imperial Avenue was all dark. We sent 2 crews out there. They stayed. First crew left at 12 o'clock midnight. The next crew came out and came in at 12 and left at 9 o'clock in the morning. We restored the power after 4 hours, but they had to remove a pole and install a new one. The semi hit the pole, and I think they took most of the pole, but we had crews out there, and that's what we do. And based on that, we were lucky to have a IID issue a resolution recognizing our National Lineman Appreciation Day for April 18th. This is for the essential role that line workers play in delivering reliable electric service that support our communities. So back-to-back recognition, and we provide the power 4 hours later. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the city manager's report.
Yes, Mayor and City Council, I just wanted to give an update on the ICTC paving project in and around the intermodal station in the downtown area. Essentially, we've done, the contractor, which we are piggybacking on their contract, has completed most of the grinding. We will start to see paving beginning next Tuesday. So good progress on that project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to the commissioner's report.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor, members of the public. Javier Gonzalez, Chairman of the Calexico Police Advisory Commission. Just want to invite you. We're going to have our community cleanup May 2. We weren't able to put it on this agenda. It'll be on the next agenda. We got a little mixed up because we had scheduled it for April 25. It's going to be called the Calexico Earth and Arbor Day Cleanup. But I got a call from IID, said, Gonzalez, we have the IID Earth Day celebration which you created. How are you stepping on our toes? And we agreed. We moved it to May 2, and we're calling it the Calexico Spring Cleanup. We got everything done. We started meeting at the police department, and it'll be in your next meeting for approval. Also, on your next meeting for approval will be this scheduled public safety town hall. We got all the people that are going to be our guests, police department, the probation, district attorney, the sheriff, and we got a women's improvement club. They're going to host it, and they're going to be asking the questions regarding public safety issues. For that, we are requesting that the city help us with your translation services. We do think we're going to get a good crowd. There's a lot of questions out there about code enforcement, about graffiti. People want to ask our public safety leaders a lot of questions, and many of our people do speak Spanish. So if you approve this, let us know if it's approved with translation, because Mrs. Rangel, Vice Chair Rangel, will be moderator, and she speaks English, and we need translation. So if you're going to approve it, we need your support with the translation services. As you see, our commission is moving along. We only ask you guys for 2 things. We need 1 more commissioner. City manager needs to appoint a commissioner. We're 6. If we ever have a vote, 3 on 3, we may have a problem. And the other things, you just saw, we need to enforce a lot of codes. A lot of codes in the city, whether it's the one we just presented. We have we're cleaning up the city. It's a volunteer effort. A lot of people criticize me. Oh, that's the city's job. We're doing it voluntarily. President Kennedy did say the government can't do it alone. The people have to help, but we do ask you to start enforcing our codes. It's not fair that several shopping centers are all messed up, full of graffiti. We got the 2 banks downtown. where the new hub is going to open. 2 banks, which I just researched, they made billions of dollars in profit. They got a mess. All their wall that's facing the hub, full of graffiti. We need to enforce our code and get on top of these people that most of them, they have their offices in La Jolla, San Diego, and they don't clean up here. We need to get on top of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Javier. Moving on to city, any other commissioners? Oh, Blanca.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Blanca, the Chair Commissioner for the bid. We did have our meeting on April the 9th. We had a quorum. The person that was missing was Roberto Neri. I did want to go over the discussions and potential action items. We talked about the downtown businesses code enforcement that we mentioned over to Mr. Martinez. And I guess there is a list of business owners, right, of the buildings that are empty that I'm not sure how your process is working right now internally through City Hall, but I think those empty buildings, they need to do something about them because that's where they're getting vandalized or they're put on fire. So I do have a list of some of the business owners that we've talked to in the past. They did want to collaborate with the city of Calexico at one point, so I'm going to go ahead and reach out to them. We also discussed the businesses affected by the traffic on Imperial Avenue, and I believe, Mr. Martinez, you're working on that? Despierta.
Your comments go to the mayor and council.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's a discussion that we had with to your business managers. So I don't have an update on that just yet. I know there've been some meetings. Our next item was the trash cans for downtown to design beautification, and then Chief Orozco did give us some examples of some pictures. You got those from Riverside? Okay. So I would like to see if we can put that on your next agenda as an action item, because that'll help with the trash that's happening downtown. Also, Oktoberfest was brought up by Jose Yepes. I guess you guys have had Oktoberfest here prior to the pandemic. And we're looking at getting all of the commissioners to collaborate, to get a committee going, because that's right around the corner. And then we also talked about Adopt the Alley. That was something too that we need to reach out to the merchants as well. And then kind of incentivize the merchants that are right now having an alley and see who does the most cleanup and keeps them clean, so we can recognize those businesses downtown that are caring for keeping our downtown clean, okay? We talked about vacant lots, perhaps having food truck plaza. And we also talked about valves and broken concrete lids on sidewalks. Is that your item number 13 on your agenda? You have approval of bid documents for weekly street improvements? It is? Is that part of that? On your agenda today?
No, it has something completely different.
It's something different? Oh, okay. So we did give Mr. Martinez some pictures. There are holes that are in front of the businesses. That's a liability to the city. So go ahead and give you a copy of mine. Okay, and that's it. Any questions? Any questions? You good? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Council, Mayor, members of the public, and our city staff. Patricia Orena, Community Services Commission. I just want to say congratulations on our 118th anniversary here. Good to be alive here after, being here with the city for this long. I do want to commend Mr. Rangel for that presentation, because I'm also confused, because every 15 feet you have those stop signs, so especially by Kennedy Gardens, you stop and you have to stop again, and you have to stop again. So I don't know if I'm supposed to stop at each one of them when there's no kids, but it's during school time. So I hope that you guys kind of look at that. Our Community Services Commission met on Wednesday during Easter break, and we did have some discussion items regarding the bleachers at Legion and Rivera, and we want to say thank you again, Mr. Villegas, for getting that done. People were pleased that they didn't have any stickers when they got up from those bleachers. Also, discussion regarding the Nosotros Softball Park Southwest area for possible parking lot. Still looking into that, and also maybe looking into the dugout that are starting to be depleted. There was some other items that were brought up regarding the ARPA funds from Friendship Park to other park facilities. We also talked about reviewing the MOU with Vincent Memorial and use of park facility rentals, and hopefully we'll have a presentation to you at the next council meeting. Discussion regarding a fee structure for the use of city parks and recreation facilities was also brought up. An update on the lighting installation at Nosotros. Again, we were told that the lights are in, but there's still brackets that are awaiting. Discussion on the concession stands regarding the health department requirements is also going to be presented, and the recreation department updates were brought up. Just so that you know, we do have a Mother's Day dance, I want to say on May 5th or the 2nd. The 2nd. So after we finish cleaning up, we can go and have a good dance with us moms can go get dressed up and go have a nice dance. Again, there's a presentation that'll be provided to this council regarding some of those amenities. Hopefully, we can also bring forth information regarding the Heber Park project as well. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Moving on to city council comments and reports of meetings attended. Councilmember Diana Rumbo.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to take this opportunity to touch on the work that the commissions are doing. I'm happy to see or to listen to the commissioner reports tonight. I know that the commission, ever since the ordinance was changed and we and the commission meets now on a monthly basis. Some of them are advisory, some of oversight commissions. I want to thank you for the time that you guys volunteer to do this. But I listen to a lot of ideas sometimes, but in order for things to actually happen, I want to remind you that it needs to come to the council, and so that we can have an actual discussion and vote, so we can get things moving along. So just wanted to kind of let you guys know, if you don't know, the process for the new agenda policy is you go to the clerk's office. The deadline is a Monday after the council meeting, so next Monday is a deadline at 3 p.m. To submit your form. For any commission that would like this council to have a discussion and take an action, I don't know that it's in the policy, but it'd probably be something I would want to see is how the commission voted. So maybe if you could include that information, you know, the vote of any action requests that a commission is submitting, include how your commission voted, because it's important that the council knows that the majority approves whatever action is being requested. That's all I wanted to say, and thank you for everyone who volunteers their time.
Thank you. Councilmember Adriana Marquez, comments?
Good evening. Since our last meeting, I was able to attend the police officer swearing-in ceremony this Monday for Officer Rivera. I was also able to attend the Library Board of Trustees meeting, in which they talked about the parent-child workshop, which is open until May 5th. They also gave information in regards to the 3D printer workshop that is also open until May 11th. And also the Dia de los Niños Family Night, which is going to be April 30th from 5 to 7 p.m. And then yesterday night, I was lucky enough to go to the opening of the Creative Young Minds art exhibit. It was really, really nice. It was a valley-wide participation of youth, of young artists between the ages of 15 and 25, total of 71 art pieces that were exhibit, and there was a total of 51 artists who participated. And that's all that I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Marquez. Mayor Pro Tem Calderon.
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go do a little different here. I know the mayor always reports on every meeting that we attend and so forth, so I'll let him report the meetings that we have attended together, because most of them we have been attending together. So one of the things that I want to address is some of the issues where our citizens have come up to the podium or have texted us or sent us emails regarding some of the issues that are affecting our city. One of them is I have received numerous calls, and in fact, we have had individuals come up to the podium where during the peak hours of traffic, Cesar Chavez northbound is being blocked. So those that live on the west side of Calexico have to actually go into Imperial and go all around to either Grand or to 98 and be able to come back to their homes in the west side. And I'm not saying this just, to critique anyone, but hopefully we can come up with a solution and to try to help our residents get to their homes when they're coming from Mexicali. We also received funding from ICTC for additional traffic control. So hopefully we can come up with a solution and help those residents get to the west side. The other concern, and like some of our commissioners, a lot of municipal codes are not being followed, and one of them is we have a lot of semi-trucks parked throughout our city. This weekend we had 3 semi-trucks parked around the Heber Park. It's not only a violation of our municipal code, but also a safety concern for those children that are playing in that park. Because if a ball were to run into the street, the oncoming traffic would not be able to see our children run into the street. So it's a safety concern, and I hope that we start addressing and enforcing these codes. The same thing where we have a lot of junk cars parked through our streets. We're complaining about the street sweepers not coming by, but in a lot of cases, you see the track of the sweeper going around these cars that have been parked for many, many months there. So I'd like to see if we can actually start citing or moving them out of there, because we have Commissioner Javier Gonzalez here. He has voiced this on other occasions where if we want to clean up our city, we need to enforce our codes. And it goes for everybody. It doesn't matter where you live, you need to take care of your front of your house. So again, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for enforcing it, and I hope that, and Ms. Rangel, that we will support you in this to try to clean up Calexico. And last but not least, it's something that it's been ongoing, and I know that Cordova Park is something that we've been going through and all, but there is a fencing that was placed there that we're paying $1,400 a month to have this fence there. And this fence was originally put there for security or to keep people during construction. So this has been going on for a couple of years now. So I'm asking this council here that really this fence no longer serves any purpose. So I'm asking that we remove this fence, and those fundings that we're spending every month that we invested in Nosotros Park and Rodriguez Park and Legion Park, where our funding is needed. And I can tell you, I did talk to Mr. Villegas, and Mr. Villegas, can you tell me if this fence is serving any purposes?
Okay, yeah, the fence has been there for 5 years and 5 months. It started in October 2020, and the city has spent almost $79,000. I have been visiting the site several times, and the current configuration is actually not preventing people to actually walk inside, because there are several places that are wide open. So it's not really like a good reason to keep it as is. So what I did, what the police force did is to contact the company that has been renting the fence, and we offered to purchase the fence so we can keep it for a little while and then reuse it someplace else. But they are asking for almost $20,000 on top of the almost $79,000 we have paid so far. So basically, my suggestion would be to remove the fence because it's quite expensive. It's not preventing people to enter if they want to enter anyways. And we can use that money, which is practically $1,400 per month.
I think this is an item we want to discuss.
All right, thank you, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Villegas. And today, Mayor Legaspi and I walked through the construction in downtown. There I have already scraped all the blacktop, and hopefully by this Tuesday, they'll be paving the entire area around the transportation center. So the opening, like the mayor said, is scheduled for May the 11th, and you're all welcome to attend. Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Calderon. Again, I want to thank Ms. Bowen and Michael Coyne for doing an outstanding job for the celebration that had commenced right there at our council. Thank you for doing such an outstanding job within the 2-day period. The meetings that I had attended, City Manager Ben Martinez and Public Works Director Jesus Villegas and I met with State Assemblyman Jeff Gonzalez via Zoom, reference to a future project that he's working on for the city of Calexico. Mayor Pro Tem Calderon and I attended the swearing-in of our newly appointed city attorney, Laura Estrada, a couple of weeks ago. Mayor Pro Tem Calderon and I attended the first national binational baseball game in Calexico, where our youth were playing against the teams from Mexicali. The council members attended the swearing-in of our newly appointed police officer, and I attended the Women's Improvement Historical event. Very impressive. The ladies did an outstanding job, and you know, the history dating back to 1908 to the present. A lot of empowerment, a lot of powerful women out there. So thank you for such an outstanding job. The people that put it together. Mayor Pro Tem Mayor Calderon and I, Pro Tem Mayor Calderon and I walked around the downtown area as he had stated. I attended the Ad Hoc Police Commissioners meeting in reference to a cleanup that's coming out and the National Night Out hosted at the Calexico Police Department. Thank you, Chief, for allowing us to be there from now on. Thank you. In reference to the vacant residents and businesses that are out there, at the next council meeting, Planning Director Michael Coyne is going to have some words regarding to how we're going to be taking care of it. So he does have a plan. So that'll be at the next council meeting. Other than that, that's all I have for my attendance. Moving on to the consent agenda. Call for public comments. Do we have public comments? Okay. Call for a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion approved by Mayor Pro Tem Calderon and second by Councilmember Nuricumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Moving on to discussion and potential action items. Number 11, the appointments by the City Council to Personnel Commission. Do we have a staff report on it?
Mayor, City Council, we have 3 potential members of the committee. We need 3 committee members to fulfill the roster for the Personnel Commission, so we'd recommend that the council move forward on this item.
Thank you. Call for any public comments?
None.
Okay. Call for council discussion. Councilmember Daniel Nuricumbo?
No, nothing to add.
Okay. Councilmember Adriana Marquez?
No comment.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Lencho Calderon?
I have nothing to add.
All right. Do we have a motion for approval?
A motion to approve.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Motion to approve by Councilmember Diana Nucumbo and second by Mayor Pro Tem Lencho Calderon. Roll call, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Moving on to discussion and moving on to item number 12, adoption of resolution approving a temporary fee study schedule for planning application, building permits, and encroachment permits until June 30, 2029. A call for staff report, please.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the council. The city conducted a fee study back in 2009 that established user fees for planning, building, and engineering projects. And in so doing, we adopted some of the highest fees in comparison with other cities in the valley. And we've had a reputation since then for having some of the highest fees. I'm not sure what exact methodology was used, but it was based on, it's supposed to be based on the full cost recovery of each item, which includes, for building permits, would include building inspections and building plan checks. Planning permits, it would be basically anybody in the city that touches the project. And it's long been a complaint by residents, by businesses, SoCal Gas, that especially our utility fee, I found we evaluated them and compared them to other jurisdictions, and some of them were highly anomalous. Over the past month, we've looked at various building permit fees, and the proposed fee schedule is very targeted. It's balanced. It still tries to achieve full cost recovery on each item. We look at a typical building permit, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and we see how much staff time is dedicated, how much our building permit technician dedicates toward expediting the permit, processing the permit, how much time our typical building inspector spends out in the field inspecting any plumbing, electrical, or mechanical permit. And so it really focuses on typical day-to-day permits that we receive from the public. These include window replacements, water heaters, air conditioners, fences, meter upgrades, solar panels, and re-roofs. And some of the fees are adjusted slightly, and hopefully they'll encourage more permitted work. There's a lot of unpermitted work that goes on in the city, and maybe a factor is that maybe the permit is just too expensive. And I'll go through a few of the permits. I looked at the last 3 months of various type of building permits. For example, the cost currently for a solar panel project was $687 for the permit, with a proposed fee that would go down to $210. Now, I would like to highlight that for solar panels, those fees are dictated by state law, so we can't charge more than what's proposed with the new fee schedule. Re-roofs, for example, a 2,000 square foot home, currently they would pay $449 for a re-roof. With the new fee schedule, that would go down to $150, which would basically just take care of the permit issuance and the building inspection. And then right now, a lot of folks are replacing their central air systems with the ductless, commonly known as mini-split systems. And right now, for example, if you replace your central air with a 2-unit system, which is pretty typical, you would pay $574 for your permit. And that would go down to $170. A very common one that we receive a lot of complaints on are block fences or masonry walls. And that one currently is based on every 100 lineal feet. So just recently, we issued a permit for a 76-foot linear foot block wall, and that permit came out to $766. With the new fee schedule, that would go down to $415. A lot of folks, because they're adding solar systems to their house, are also doing double, and a lot of folks are adding ADUs or doing double meter upgrades. And we're also addressing that. So for example, a double meter upgrade right now would cost you $459. With the new fee schedule, that would go to $229. We also receive a lot of complaints on our wood fences. So it's interesting, I looked at one permit that we issued that included a combination wood fence and masonry fence, 270-foot linear foot of wooden fence, a 92 linear foot of masonry wall, and that permit came out to $1,590. And with the new fee schedule, that would go down to $415, which is a lot more reasonable. And will still cover our plan check and our inspection. And then another one that we get a lot of complaints on are our window replacements. So that would go down. I have a whole list here of typical permits. For example, for one where they had actually this one was for doors. For 4 doors, the permit to replace 4 doors, the permit was almost $600. And that would go down to $240. And currently we charge about $190 per window replacement. And that would go down to $120 for the first window, and then $60 for each additional window. Because once you're out in the field, the inspector, it doesn't take the inspector that much additional time to look at each additional window being replaced. So that was the idea behind that. And then a lot of folks are also replacing their water heaters. And currently, we charge not only for the actual heater itself of $140, but we add on an electrical permit cost, and that results in a fee of about $230. So with the new fee schedule, that would go down to $115, which would cover the cost of the inspection, essentially, because we don't plan check those. And then another common one are carports and patios. Recently, we issued a permit for a carport, and that came out to $802. With the new fee schedule, that would go down to $295, which would cover the plan check and inspection. The encroachment permit, I coordinated with Mr. Villegas, our Public Works Director, and based on his assessment and still trying to achieve full cost recovery, meaning staff time dedicated to reviewing the encroachment permit, plan checking it, and inspecting the work, it would be more reasonable to charge about $500. So that would go down from $3,300 to $500. And another one that we receive a lot of complaints on are signs. So that was another one that's included in the revised fee schedule. So for example, there was a business that recently replaced 3 wall signs, and that permit came out to $1,196. And of course, we want businesses to replace those ugly banner signs with permanent wall signs, but many probably don't do so because it's too expensive. And so with the new fee schedule, that would go down to $470. And so hopefully with this new fee schedule, we do achieve more compliance with the code. We do get more permitted work. And also with the planning fees, we do adjust some, like the conditional use permit fee, to make it more affordable. That way we attract more businesses. So in addition to trying to reduce unpermitted work, we're trying to encourage economic development and kind of rebrand the city and eliminate our reputation as being an expensive city to do business in. And so hopefully this will help in that effort, try to rebrand us as a business-friendly place, and also address our community and their ability to pay, because we are ultimately a lower income community, and some of these fees are very high, even in comparison with cities in San Diego County. And so hopefully this will help with that as well, help our citizens be able to actually apply for common building permits. And the fee schedule would be in place for a period of 3 years through June 30th, 2029. That would allow us to budget for a new user fee schedule. A new user fee study by a qualified third party. I think that doing a new fee study would probably reflect technological innovations, more efficiency in the way we process things compared to back in 2009. So hopefully it would all result in a reduction in fees compared to what we have now with the Maximus fee study that was conducted in 2009. It would take about a year to conduct such a study, which would include the budgeting and procurement of the third-party consultant. And if we do see a very negative fiscal impact, the council would be made aware of this with the biannual fiscal budget report, and we would make you aware that there's a significant decline in building permit fees and it's affecting the building and planning department and our functionality. And you would be able to rescind that, of course, at any time. So it is suggested that we do have this 3-year period. That way we could conduct the new user fee study, and we could also see what the long-term trend is over this 3-year period in terms of see if we are capturing more permitted work, which may actually result in an uptick in our department revenue. And that completes my report. I'm open to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. Deborah McCary.
Thank you. My name is Deborah McGarry. I'm the Public Affairs Manager, Southern California Gas Company, and Honorable Mayor and City Council members, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to review the current fees as city staff has been trying to and willing to work with us, and I want to thank them very much for taking that time. As we have shared, typically the cost is a cost recovery, and we definitely want to make sure that the city and the city staff definitely has their fees and that cover the cost, and you recover your cost of the services that you provide. We will share, and I will share that, such as an example of someone's putting in or wants a new service put in, the charge that the city is charging us would be a pass-through back to that customer. So that would be, unfortunately, a much higher cost. Being able to cover the cost of what the services are, I think is definitely fair, and it's more across the standard and actually part of what the California code actually specifies as well. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate the staff taking the time. And if there's any questions or anything that I could offer in regards to assistance, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always available to provide accurate information. Thank you.
Alexis Rangel.
Good evening. I want to thank Mr. Coyne for sending me the master fee schedule that you sent me with my request. And my question is, and you're probably not going to be able to answer it right now, but I just want to throw it out there. What is the process for a formal fee study across the board? Because I see that a lot of departments maybe don't have certain fees in place and aren't posting them online. Like I think we're supposed to be putting them on there so that we can be transparent with the public when they're trying to build something, when they're trying to get some sort of something done by perhaps different departments. Because my understanding was that you had to do a fee study. So maybe you mentioned that you would have to do a third party, but is it possible to also look at other cities and what they're charging is instead of having to get a third party involved? That's it. Thank you.
No more comments.
Okay. Moving on to council discussion. Councilmember Diana Tucumbo.
Yes. I really want to thank staff for bringing this to the council. Finally, I know that's been one of our priorities as we've come here. Well, at least mine and Councilmember Thailanda's, and I'm sure maybe a few of the other council members. Our fees have been outrageous. I did some calculations, and we have on average 6 to 9 times higher than just comparing it to El Centro, who would probably be maybe we know there's a higher population and stuff, but just comparing it to El Centro alone, 6 to 9 times higher. There's one, the developmental review fee is 18 times higher. I don't know when the last fee study was done. You might have mentioned it, but like you said it yourself, you don't know what they were using to bring these fees forward or to suggest these fees. I wanted to. I also like the fact that you guys will be tracking on every 6 months the progress. Excuse me. But I just wanted to say that part of that tracking also goes in line with enforcement, because now that the fees are how they should be, competitive with our neighbors, now we part of the tracking and the monitoring, it also has to do with the enforcement, because if we're dropping fees and the people or the developers or whoever's asking for permits are doing things, I guess illegally or for lack of a better term, and we don't enforce it, then we are going to see a negative impact. But if we, for example, work on the enforcement and maybe later consider to make the fines higher than the permit fees, so that we can motivate those people that are doing, certain things without paying the permit. Because one of the things that I was discussing earlier with one of our fire staff is the fact that the city has been having a lot of fires. And I was giving a example that in Yuma, because I have a business there, they have a fire marshal, and they inspect businesses every 3 months. And we don't have a fire marshal. And part of, all these fees and for building or smaller, ADUs, especially if they're being done without a permit, nobody is inspecting. And the fires in the city are on a rise. So anyway, part of what I was going to suggest as we track this is that enforcement needs to go in line with it, so that we're ensuring that people are coming in to apply for the permits as it should happen. And then my only other question, I was looking at the landscaping fees. No other city charges for landscaping permits, none in the valley, just us. And that's one of the fees that not only did we not lower or drop, but it stayed the same. So I would like to know why we feel we have a need to have a permit for landscaping when no other city has a landscaping permit fee.
Yeah, so that was just kept in line with the previous fee reduction that was completed in 2021. And I normally, if it's part of a different sort of project, for example, if it's part of a conditional use permit, we don't charge a separate landscape fee. For example, with the recently approved Dutch Brothers, they have a landscape plan, and that was covered as part of their site plan review. So normally we don't charge this fee. It's very rare for someone to come in just to have us review their landscape plan.
Because nobody's gonna come in and pay $800 to plant some grass. So why are we still charging it? I don't understand. If no other city is charging it, why would we still need to charge it for a landscaping fee?
Yeah, the only thing I could see is the one for the third-party consultant to cover that. Those fees, that their hourly rates are considerably higher than what the city would charge for staff review. And that's probably a vestige of the various type of larger developments, the tract maps that we were approving at the time. I'm trying to just try to understand like why they came to this fee when they did the Maximus fee study in 2009. And it was probably based on all the larger specific plans the city was receiving that encompassed large areas. I mean, you're talking about 200-acre size developments. And so I would imagine that it would cover that. But yeah, I wouldn't see the necessity of having a separate landscape and irrigation plan review by staff. And I think that we could just cross that out from the fee schedule. So hasn't been my practice thus far to charge for any landscape review, because normally it falls under a different category of project, whether it's a conditional use permit, development review permit, or site plan review. And so if the council so wishes, we could just entirely strike that row from the table.
And then my second question, like I said, if we're gonna be tracking it, so to track it, I mean, it's not just the numbers, but like I said, it's enforcement. But now that enforcement is part of the PD, is the coordination, I assume, is there now that we would like want to ensure people are actually applying for the fees, so that when, like I said, when we do the tracking, we're not gonna still see a negative number. And like I said, it's not just to charge a fee, but it's also for the safety of the homes, of the businesses, of our fire staff. So that's the only thing I would suggest, that as part of the tracking, that enforcement goes right along with the finance aspect of the permits. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Adriana Marquez, comments?
Well, I just hope that by reducing these fees, we're encouraging businesses to come in, and we're encouraging also our citizens to make sure that they're abiding by the law whenever remodeling or doing anything to their homes. And piggyback on what Councilmember Nuricumbo just said in regards to code enforcement, we need to make sure that we also are providing code enforcement to be going out there, especially on the weekends, because that's when we see most of these illegal activities being done, so that we are able to make sure that our citizens are abiding by the new fees and by our laws. But thank you for that, and thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Temp Calderon, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Michael, thank you for the report to start with. During my research of this, I noticed that this reduction took place in October of 21. Do we have any data as to if this was beneficial to the city or not when this was implemented, the reductions?
Yeah, it was only in place for about 6 months, so it was hard to look at any trend. And it was also during COVID, so it's also hard to tell whether, because a lot of places were shuttered, and there was a downturn in just general business activity, and so it's hard to really gauge whether or not there was either a positive response in terms of more permitted work, or if there was a decline in revenue. And so with this new schedule, we have a wider period, so it'll allow us to be able to look at a longer term trend.
Yes. Well, if we want to beautify Calexico, this is the way to do it. Help our residents or our business people to be able to change their properties. Also, you mentioned a comprehensive fee study. I know we need one because the last one was done in 2009, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
So when do you plan to have one, or
We're budgeting for it for this next fiscal year. It does take time to procure a consultant and put them in place, and then they sit down with each department. They look at how we process everything, especially for the planning permits and engineering permits. Planning permits especially go through various departments review. They're reviewed by Public Works, by fire, by police, finance. Every department pretty much touches planning applications. And so they need to assess what staff time and look at fully burdened rates. Like the fully burdened rates include not only salary and benefits, but everything that factors in to the full cost of the city, running City Hall itself, materials, even minor things like staff training that are included in the budget. So they look at all of that and they factor that into these fully burdened rates, and that's how they come up with how much an application could cost, because we are only supposed to charge based on our full cost recovery. We can't charge more than what we spend in processing an application. So essentially it's a very detailed process, and I went through it in another city, and I believe the finance director also conducted one in her past place of employment, and it does take a long time to prepare these, and it's time intensive as well. So yeah, it would take about a year to conduct.
Okay. And I guess the trend here will tell us whether it's good or not, correct? So informing us will be very critical. Let us know.
Yeah, in fact, we sit down I sat down with the finance director recently to look at just our general trend in terms of our revenue. And so it would just be part of what's already what's already part of our procedure. But in this case, we would present this to you as well, or highlight it to you as part of our budget report to see if there's a downward trend or upward trend, if there's something that we're seeing as a result of this new fee schedule.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Calderon. Thank you, Michael, for a good report. And my understanding that in 3 years, if there's any decrease in change or whatnot, we can always come back to it. This is very long overdue. I know that when I was 2.5 years ago, there's always been complaints about our permits being so high. And they were comparing us to the city of El Centro and others and the surrounding cities. And I think doing something like this is going to assist us in bringing in more homes and more people to come in and build legally, right? So thank you, Michael, for the change, and all we can do is just go forward with something as positive as this. Thank you, Mike.
Mayor, may I add something?
Yes.
The fee study, so fee studies are projections, and we're actually going to do a 3-year trial, which is better than projections because they're actuals. So I was going to recommend, since we're going to start doing this anyway, collect, the data properly, so that maybe we can save on the fee study and not have to do a fee study, because we will have actual numbers for 3 years instead of getting projected numbers from a fee study. So I think since we're going to do it, start from scratch pretty much with the new ones, if it gets approved, might as well start doing that and save us that money. but that was just a recommendation.
Thank you. Call for a motion?
I motion to approve with the amendment to scratch the landscape fees.
Second.
Okay. Restate the motion is Councilmember Nudokumbo. The motion, scratching the landscape fees. And Mayor Pro Tem Calderon seconded. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon.
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to number 13, the approval of bid documents for Weekly Street Improvement Federal Project CML-5168-032 and authorize the Public Works Department to send the project out to bid. Do you have a staff report on it?
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and council members. This is a paving project. The Public Works Department was able to secure $464,000 from the Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Program. It's a federal program. We already have the improvement plans completed, which you can find them in attachment 2. The location of the project is illustrated in attachment 1. This area is right now is dirt, and we have heavy semi-trucks traveling in the area, which cause a lot of dust pollution. The project is designed to build a really robust cross-section, which is 6 inches of asphalt over 12 inches of compacted plaster base. Also, we are including concrete curb and gutter at both sides, north and south side of the road. It's a length of 615 linear feet, and the ultimate cross-section will be a 50-foot wide road. So basically, we are going to be solving a problem for the city. As I said, the funding is a federal funding grant. It's already secured. The local match typically is 11.47%, which is calculated to be about $54,000. If the bid comes up to that amount, it could be slightly lower, which we anticipate that. Other than that, the information is here, and that completes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm glad to.
Thank you. Call for public comments? None? Call for council discussion. Councilmember Nkomo, please.
My staff report won't open, but can you just remind me the fiscal, where is it getting paid from, the fiscal? Again?
You mean the local match? If the 11.47%, which is the standard for cement projects, is going to be $53,220. If we spend the full amount of $464,000, which is the grant money.
Okay. But our match is not coming, for example, from LTA funds. It's not part of that.
No,
Okay,
not for this specific project.
Okay, that's all my question. Thank you.
Yeah, our tablet froze. So
Good.
the Wi-Fi's on. Okay. Councilmember Jana Marcus.
No questions.
Okay. Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Leche Calderon.
Well, what can I say? It's grant money. Let's do it. Let's use it.
Yeah.
That street, I mean, it's been long due, so.
Yeah, and it's solving a dust pollution for our community. So basically, it's a really, really good opportunity, especially because the money is not grant money.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Villegas.
Thank you. And yeah, I mean, when I patrol that area, it's a long dirt lot. So very ugly out there. So thank you. Good job on that one. Do I have a call for a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. A motion to approve by Mayor Pro Tem Calderon, second by Councilmember Diana Nudokumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thalinda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to item number 14, the creation of a city council ad hoc committee to discuss potential sales tax ballot measure related to public safety in the city of Calexico. Call for a staff report, please.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. The City of Calexico continues to experience increased demand for public safety services, and the City Council has expressed interest in pursuing the possibility of placing a potential sales ballot measure on the November ballot to enhance public safety services. The purpose of this item is to recommend that an ad hoc committee be formed. This ad hoc committee would discuss this item along with city staff, potentially fire and police officer associations and other stakeholders, and come up with recommendations to be brought back to the city council for consideration. So at this time, staff is recommending that 2 council members be appointed to this ad hoc committee.
Okay. Call for public comments.
Jonathan Rangel.
Good evening, Jonathan Rangel, Calexico Police Officers Association. Wow, this is a great idea. I wonder who came up with this idea. I believe that the ad hoc committee, obviously you guys can't talk to me, but I think the main goal would be to establish a strategy to conduct the public outreach that will be needed to inform the residents of what the new tax, the special tax will instill, or to try to get the numbers out. Right now, we're kind of like in a threshold where you don't have anything factual, so we can't really present anything to the council or even to the residents. So I think being transparent is going to be truly important. I truly recommend that you guys vote yes. Whoever's needed, maybe a rotational basis, so that everybody can have a say of kind of what's going on, bringing your ideas, your implementation. This is also a way for the associations to get involved, fire and police, since we don't have, some of our members or our board are not don't have full authority because of our ranks. But again, once again, it's to get our word out, to get the ball rolling, to get legal involved, also to get anybody all stakeholders pretty much that are willing to come in and give ideas, so we can start doing and conducting those surveys that you guys spoke about maybe about a month ago, and not spend so much money on that. Maybe even provide some allotment of funds to our officers or the firefighters to get involved as overtime for these public outreach, these community meetings, just to try to get the word out. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay. Moving on to council discussion. Councilmember Diana Nudukumbo.
Thank you. I would like to know how many members you're considering be on the ad hoc, and how often, being that we are on a deadline, how often will they be meeting? Those are 2 of my current questions.
So
Do you have?
So we're recommending 2 ad hoc members.
No, from the council, but in the entire committee, who's gonna be on it?
That's at the pleasure of the council.
Yeah, so right now we're doing council comments, and let's complete their council comments, and then we'll make the motion. If I can just comment on what Councilmember Nudukumbo said, once, hopefully if this ad hoc committee is approved, our first responders are going to work regarding to how the times they're going to meet, when we're going to meet, and so forth. That's why we're creating the ad hoc committee. The first responders are going to come up with the dates and so forth. So we just want to create the ad hoc committee right now.
Okay. I mean, I would like to know, who's going to be. I agree that the ad hoc committee needs to be created, but there would have to be like a follow-up to approve the suggestion of who's going to be on it, because it's important, and
yes.
it needs to be stakeholders, it needs to be people that are going to be committed, because we have a deadline, and people that can contribute to it.
And we're definitely going to have stakeholders up there with the lead of, obviously, going to have the 2 council members, but we are going to have our first responders out there creating or getting a list of stakeholders and so forth. This is just like a baby step, but it's got to be really quick if approved. We have to work on it really fast.
Yeah, that's it for my
Okay.
comments. Thank you.
Councilmember Diana Marcus, any comments?
Well, I do see the need for it, but again, there's a lot of questions still. Obviously, we want to make sure that we're giving our full support to police and fire, but I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Calderon?
Well, I agree with this. It's important to, like you said earlier, get stakeholders. And first of all, the stakeholders are fire and police. And then we have also residents out there that can influence our community, or even not only influence our community, but be able to communicate, for instance, seniors, businessmen, and so forth, that can communicate the importance of this extra tax. Because we're competing not only with Calexico, I mean, because Measure H, but also the county is about to put up an additional tax on the ballot. So we do need stakeholders, and I'll share my experience with the school board. The group was approximately of 10 stakeholders, and it was teachers, principals, community members, and obviously the people that were doing the surveys and so forth. But most of the people, the majority were people, residents from Calexico, and we were successful in passing 2 bonds. So again, and this was after Measure H. That was a completely chaos. So we need the voices out there. I know that our firefighters and our policemen will work hard, but we still need people out there to kind of reinforce what these officers are going out there to sell to them. And that's all I have.
Thank you. And I do have faith in our first responders and the 2 council members that are going to be assisting on this. And this is the list of people, the stakeholders that they're going to be putting together. So I would like to make I'd like to make the motion to have Councilmember Lisa Talanda and Mayor Pro Tem Lencho Calderon to be the 2 council members on obviously in a rotational period.
I second.
Okay. Do I have the motion was made by me and second by Councilmember Ndukumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon.
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. All right, going on to item number 15, adopt a budget amendment resolution relocating $76,573 within funds 255 FEMA ARPA to support the costs of equipment repairs and maintenance, radios and fire breathing apparatus and turnouts for the Calexico Fire Department, and authorize the city manager to execute any necessary documents to implement the appropriation. Call for staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and those in attendance. I'm here for the fire chief for today. He's out of county. This reallocating these funds is highly important for us. I know it's a good size amount, but let me go ahead and tell you, first of all, this will not affect the general fund at all. Why this amount? As you just heard, some of my guys are going back and forth in those ambulances. We got 2 ambulances only 2 years old, and they have over 80,000 miles on them already. So that's causing a lot of maintenance, repairs. And then we have the radios. These radios are pretty pricey. We use them a lot for wildland. So we're in these dark areas, what they call black zones. So they have a lot more in these, and radios are programmed more advanced. And then, of course, our fire gear and our breathing apparatuses. So as of today, this is where we stand, and we appreciate going through any questions for the chief. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Call for public comments. Okay. Call for council discussion. Councilmember Diane Nurukumo, please.
I still can't open my staff report, but I just want to ask, excuse me, it says FEMA/ARPA. The ARPA funding, is that something that, are we taking it away from somewhere that's already been allocated?
I'm not too sure on that question. I would have to get back to you, or I'll go ahead and direct it to the chief, maybe finance would.
Yes, so the fire department has an allocation right now for the same amount for fire ambulance repairs. And right now, they don't have a need for that, and we need to spend the funds before December 31st. So what he's doing, he's reallocating, because he doesn't need funding for that purpose. He's reallocating that funding to serve other purposes that he does need.
Okay, but it's what stays within the same department?
Yes.
Yes, it's within the same department.
Not taken from the police department?
Later.
Okay, Councilmember Adriana Marquez.
So I know that 2 years ago, there were turnouts that had been purchased, and then a year ago, we approved for another set of turnouts. So how many are we now purchasing this time around?
So there were a few hires, and we were still short on their gear. It's about 2 to 3 at this point. We did receive the majority of it. The last couple were still short for their gear.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I just stay here and.
Chief is gonna owe you, huh?
It's many.
Well, I know that they expire, so I'm sure there's
Yes.
some that expire, so.
So this gear, it does have a expiration date. Even if they're just folded up in plastic, they do have a shelf tendency. Now, the fires that we've been getting lately, they go through it even quicker.
Yes, or they get damaged.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's always been my belief that you perform like you train.
Yes, sir.
And equipment is part of this whole equation.
Yes.
So it's better to have more than less. And
Of course.
that's how I feel. And thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your service.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Oscar, for such an
No problem. Thank you very
Such a
much.
good job for covering for the chief, and I think you're very blessed that you have council that's pro safety.
Yes.
It wasn't like that a few years ago, but you know what? I'm glad that safety for the community, safety for our city, and uniforms and plays a big part of safetiness and whatever equipment that our first responders need to provide safe and security for our residents. Definitely.
Absolutely.
It goes a long ways for you guys. So thank you for.
And we thank you all, and we also thank the past for whatever we did get, and we pushed forward. So now we're here today, and we appreciate you all as well.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So call for.
So move.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Motion was made by Mayor Pro Temp Calderon, second by Nurukumbo. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Legaspi,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Calderon,
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Thailenda is absent. Councilmember Noricumbo.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Moving on to informational items, information report in reference to grant activities during the period of the year 25 to 26, Q3, January to March 2026. This item was acknowledged and receipt. There being no further business, meeting is now adjourned. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Well,
Just like that? Why didn't you tell me that?
Well, motion to adjourn.
all right. Okay, thank you. It is 9:24 p.m.